Hello and welcome to the Voice of Todd. I'm Tom and today we're going to talk about WandaVision, Episode 8, titled Previously On. This is the latest and penultimate episode of the series and maybe of the show entirely. I don't know if this is a limited run or not. But let's just jump straight into this one. There really isn't much to talk about at all, really, for the second week in a row. I've said this before, but I didn't really care about the show before it started. And then I watched the first episode, I was hooked. We've had some fantastic episodes, we've had a couple of average ones, but on the whole this show has been excellent. Really well written, really well done, very quirky, very interesting, lots of mystery. Up until last week. And maybe including elements of last week's episode, actually, there was some enjoyment to be had. The last episode was just trying to water down whatever details they had left, and it shows with this. But I know that my problems with this episode are personal. It's about what I enjoy and don't enjoy. And I can't give you my opinion any other way. I can only tell you what I like. That being said, there will be spoilers for this episode as usual, and there will be a lot of me just talking about what might happen at the end of this video. But we open with Agatha Harkness back at the Salem witch trials. This is basically a extended scene of a moment in her life, setting up sort of the history of magic in the MCU to a point. But we're at the Salem witch trials, and Agatha is being tried by the other witches in her coven for being too powerful, or doing something that she shouldn't have magicked into being, or whatever. The scene felt far too long, and honestly, this is the point where the episode lost me. I don't like magic. It doesn't interest me. And I don't mean force powers or Lord of the Rings style magic. I mean Harry Potter waving wands around or waving your hand in the air and conjuring spells. It doesn't interest me. That's just how I am. It never has. And because now we're really diving into that and what that means for the MCU and this show, that's why I just checked out. I can't help it. I get that this will really interest people. So many people love Harry Potter and that kind of stuff. And that's fine. It's great that you have that you love. I hope that anybody that likes that kind of magic and that kind of fantasy gets a kick out of this and really enjoys what they're doing at Marvel moving forward into the MCU. I hope it pays off. I don't care. And because of that, I admit that I might be slightly tainted in how I feel about this episode. But honestly, it was all bloat, apart from a couple of moments. And as a fan of the MCU, and the fact that I've been following the MCU since its birth with Iron Man, I went to see Iron Man the first week and probably the first 3 days it was released in the cinema. I've been with the MCU that long. I went to see The Incredible Hulk the first week it was released. I drove an hour to a cinema to watch it. That's how invested I was early on. I don't need a deep dive into Wanda's past. I've seen or can imagine everything that has been shown in this episode. But the upshot is that Agatha is jealous of Wanda's power and needs to know why she's so powerful. So they take a trip down memory lane to all the tragic moments in Wanda's past. It's pretty clear that Wanda doesn't know anything about magic, she isn't an actual witch, and she doesn't even understand the powers that she has. She can just do them. That's been pretty clear right the way through the show, to be honest. A couple of interesting scenes that I do want to just shine some light on. The first one being the sword base scene, where Wanda goes in, and we've seen the security footage previously of Wanda aggressively breaking in, and what looked potentially like her stealing Vision's body. We get to see what actually happened from Wanda's perspective. She didn't steal Vision. She wasn't overly aggressive. And also, Hayward wasn't an ass. That shocked me more than anything else in this episode, really. But he clearly isn't a people person. He's still not an ass. And he's quite honest about his position with Vision and slightly sympathetic to her, I would say. But she doesn't take the body. Wanda then drives off to a plot of land where she and Vision were, I guess, going to settle down and have a family if that was even possible. That's where she breaks down. Her powers erupt from her body, whatever. It seems like it just happens. She's not controlling it. It's just, think Phoenix-esque with Jean Grey. It seems like that kind of power. Not that this is going to be a Phoenix Force. I hope not. Jesus. But from that power eruption, Wanda creates the house that we saw. She turns the time back to the 50s for the original Hex area, as we saw in the first episode. And she creates a whole new Vision. From herself, her power, we don't quite know what she's invested into it. But this is a totally different Vision that is nothing to do with the Vision that we know. I'm going to call him OG Vision. That's why he didn't have any memories, and probably why when he left the Hex a couple of episodes ago, he started to break up and you could see the yellow power running through him and not an actual skeleton. So that sort of answers that. And then we'll take a look at the mid-credit scene. Again, second episode of 2 has had a mid-credit scene, so expect a mid-credit scene next week's finale. But the scene itself is with Sword Base, or the newly constructed Sword Base in Hayward. They're ready to make their move that they talked about in episode 7, and they have OG Vision. He's up and working and re-pieced back together. All they needed, it turns out, was Wanda's magic from the drone that they sent in to kill her a couple of episodes ago. They've used it to breathe life into old Vision, who is white. I would have had a picture of him. I felt it was a bit too spoilery for a thumbnail. But we have OG Vision in some way. We don't know if he's fully aware of what's going on, or if he remembers anything. We just see him looking at his hand. And that's it. That's your episode. So, little bit of a overall feeling, and then into what I think is going to happen next week. I think that Elizabeth Olsen, Catherine Hahn, I think they were excellent this episode. I think Paul Bettany, for the moments that he was in, were excellent. We've come to expect this from our 3 main actors, though. This isn't anything new. They've been great all season. The problem was that with all this bloat, after the season started so strong, it feels like they ran out of steam. I feel that, and I'm saying this without seeing the finale, I could change my mind next week, and I am entitled to do so. But I feel like they got to a point around episode 6 where they ran out of ideas, because they took the script that was so tight and well written and extended it by 2 or 3 episodes. Which is why this week we just got bloat. Which is a real shame, because I really had high hopes as we sort of careered into the finale, or the setup for the finale. I thought that we would have some really big, exciting stuff to really pay off everything that's happened and all the questions that we've had. Last 2 episodes haven't, if anything, they've just made me lose interest. I'm still looking forward to the finale. I still want answers, and I still want to know, overall, what's going to happen with Wanda, Vision, and where the MCU is going moving forward. But this show was very front-loaded. The first 6 episodes were pretty much must-say TV, with a couple of question marks. But it's been really good. And it's really fallen off. I'm really disappointed with the last 2 episodes. I don't know if you can tell that. But onto the theory crafting. What do I think will happen in next week's finale? I don't know anything. I haven't read the comics. I haven't looked into it before we get into that. As I've said time and time again, I'm not a comics guy. So this is me just speculating on what we've seen and what I remember of the last 8 episodes. I think Wanda will be totally broken by the death of the twins. Either at Agnes's hand, or Sword, or OG Vision, or whatever. But as Agnes seemed to point out at the end of this episode, the twins are made of her, so they're probably not real. Just before she called her a Scarlet, or the Scarlet Witch. I think OG Vision will be used to hunt down Wanda's vision, and they will either both be destroyed, they will destroy each other, or Wanda will destroy them both. Or, and a friend of mine put this idea in my head, but it is possible that Wanda could merge the two together, bringing in the new sort of idea that she had of Vision and what she remembers of Vision into the old body, potentially making Vision available for the future if needed. I would guess that if that happens, he's taken by Sword or captured or something, and they're separated. That way that they can keep Vision in the MCU for later, and it seems a shame to waste a man of Paul Bettany's talents, especially if you have a chance to keep him around. I think that Agatha will actually be set up as an ally for Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch moving forward in the Doctor Strange film and whatever else is coming down the pipeline. She'll become a hero of sorts, in however she resolves however she's resolved in this season. I think that Junior will do some heroics, but her, because the Captain Marvel thing, you get it, and cement her place as a super powerful hero in either Spider-Man, Doctor Strange 2, Captain Marvel 2, all 3, who knows. I don't know how far they're going to go with her, but she's in a very interesting place, and she can be the audience's eyes into an already established world if they want to move her that way, if done right. I can see the Hex being brought down in a very aggressive way that will either cause the universe to rupture and create the multiverse, or bring in elements of other universes that weren't meant to be here. I'm thinking the Fox superheroes like the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer maybe. I don't think we'll see any of that next week, but I think we will see the starting of boundaries being torn apart and worlds bleeding into each other. And that's really all I've got. Let me know what you think of this episode, of the show in general. Are you still looking forward to the finale with as much excitement as you were 3 or 4 weeks ago? Or have you started to lose interest like I have? Also, if you do enjoy this video or any of my other content, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It really helps the channel to grow and please the algorithm gods. All the support that everyone is showing for my content has been fantastic, and it really means so much. And there is a lot more to come down the line. We're looking at Shindig, the next episode of Firefly, being reviewed on Wednesday. We've got WandaVision's finale next week. And down the line, I think we will try Falcon and Winter Soldier, although I'm really not looking forward to that show now. But that's where I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.